Hey guys, it's Megan. I'm a high school librarian and I'm back today. Today we're actually in my house. We're in my husband's office slash our workout room because I'd use his computer anyway. But we are going to do another tier ranking video, and this time we are doing my favorite series of all time. So I had trouble with the last one with Anne Rice because she's my favorite author and I like all of the Vampire Chronicles. But Harry Potter, these are really my favorite books of all time. So I don't know how this is going to go. I honestly thought we would do, if you can see my screen here, I thought we would do the books and the movies because that would be sort of fun to try to kind of rank all of them at once, including the new movies and stuff. And then I thought our categories could be the different NEWT levels. So I even called this, using NEWT levels. So if you want to look this up, it's a tier list that anybody can access now. But yeah, so if you're not familiar, the NEWT test is what students at Hogwarts take to see, kind of like what job they might be suited for in the future. And the different levels that you can get on the test, instead of like A, B, C, D, you can get outstanding, exceeds expectations, acceptable, poor, dreadful, and troll. So let's just see what we get. By the way, passing grades on this test are the first three, and then failing grades are the last three. I don't think too many things are going to get dreadful or troll because I love Harry Potter, but this could be fun just to try out anyway. So here we go. Let's start with the books. So book one, it's the first book, obviously. It's what started the whole thing. It's very magical. Without it, we wouldn't have the rest of the series, and it started my love for the series. I remember I was confused about it at first, though. It's not like one of my favorites of all time ever, but so I'm not going to call it outstanding because it's not like my favorite one, but I don't know. It's so just iconic. I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to put it in acceptable. I mean, obviously it's better than acceptable, but if I just have to rank it compared to all the other ones. Chamber of Secrets. Okay, Chamber of Secrets is funny because I didn't like the book when I first read it, when I was 13 years old or whatever. But when the movie came out, it made me like it a lot better. So I'm going to I also spoiled myself, by the way. So yeah, spoiler alert if you haven't read Chamber of Secrets. But at the end, I was flipping through the book. I just bought the book. I remember sitting at the mall. I'd been to like Borders bookstore or something. I opened the book, and the first page I opened to towards the end said Tom Marvolo Riddle in the middle of the page. And then it was like, oh, the letters changed around to say, I am Lord Voldemort. And I was like, well, that seems like a spoiler. So I knew the entire time that Tom Riddle was Lord Voldemort. So maybe I would have liked the book better if I hadn't spoiled it for myself. So to me, it wasn't as good. I'm going to say poor. Yeah, sure, poor. Oh my gosh. It's not poor. It's just not as good as the second one, in my opinion. And to me, it was one of my least favorite books. Prisoners of Azkaban is one of my all-time favorites. It's right up there at the top. I absolutely love this book. I love the time travel aspect. I think it's like one of the best examples of time travel ever. I don't know about you guys, but just the mechanics of the time travel makes a lot of sense to me, basically. So Goblet of Fire is my other all-time favorite. These two, I would switch back and forth between which one was my absolute favorite. I don't even know to this day if I could choose, because I don't know. The only thing I don't love about this one, I don't really like the second task in the Triwizard Tournament where he has to like go under the lake and everything. I remember not caring so much about that one, but I just loved the idea of like the other schools coming together. I loved some of the random characters, honestly. I don't know, Karkaroff. I don't know why I loved Karkaroff. It doesn't really make any sense. But of course, I loved Sirius Black from the third one. I love the whole scene at the end in the Whomping Willow. So these two, I don't know which one's my favorite. I've honestly never been able to decide. And of course, the ending of the fourth one was like, oh wow, this is not a children's book anymore. He just murdered Cedric Diggory, and now Voldemort is back. So it was so intense. And I remember the first time I ever read that ending scene. Of course, I was young. Like I said, I was like maybe 13, and I was sitting in a chair, like in a kind of a dark, like my dark family room or something. I had the lights off except for one tiny little light, and all my parents had gone to bed. And I remember I actually got freaked out at this scene. It was like Wormtail, and he, has his hand cut off and all that. So yeah, it was pretty freaky for a 13-year-old, I guess. After book 4, I had to wait on book 4 for a year. Then the rest of them I had to wait for to come out. The first 3 were the only 3 out when I first started reading these books way back in the day. So Order of the Phoenix is funny because I really, really liked Order of the Phoenix, the movie. Not so much the book. It was kind of like Chamber of Secrets, where it got me more interested in the book after watching the movie. So, would I say, I don't know, maybe there, I think I liked it better still than Chamber of Secrets. No, at the time though, I didn't. I'm going to put it there. This is what I really did think at the time. Maybe I should move all these up, and I don't know. Ah. But at the time, I really thought these two weren't as good. Like I said, these categories, these names, this doesn't, I really don't think these books are poor. They're just not as good as what I think of when I think of like these two. So Half-Blood Prince I loved. I wouldn't say it's quite up there with these two, but it reminded me more of like the first three books, kind of that same atmosphere of just them having their little adventures. I feel like 4 and 5 kind of went, off the rails with all the stuff going on with Voldemort and the Order of the Phoenix. And then this one got back to, let's just have some shenanigans at the school. Hey, we found this textbook that has all this cool stuff written in it. And there's the Felix Felicis potion and stuff like that. I really, really liked all that stuff. It just was more like the original three is what I felt like anyway when I read it. And then Deathly Hallows. Oh my goodness. I mean, obviously this book's not dreadful, but at the time it was so different than all the other ones. I hated the fact at the time that Harry wasn't at school. I was like, this isn't Harry Potter if he's not at Hogwarts. Like, what the heck? And they're out there running around the woods and like arguing with each other, and Ron leaves them, and I just didn't like that. I didn't care. I was like, whatever. So that's where I'd put the books if I had to kind of rank them in order, I guess. Just think of it as being in order and not these categories over here. Okay. Cursed Child. Oh, well, we will go ahead and put that in Troll, though, won't we? So it's definitely the worst of all of them. I will never read this book again. I bought it because, I had to complete my collection, but it doesn't even sound like J.K. Rowling. The characters, I don't even feel like act like themselves. I'm like, who are these people? They're not even the real characters. I don't know. I absolutely hated this. The only thing I found interesting was the time travel aspect of the plot, because of course I like the time travel aspect of Prisoner of Azkaban, but I don't know, the characters, the writing style, it just didn't seem like Harry Potter to me at all. So, all right, let's do the movies. We're going to skip my Fantastic Beasts ones here. We're going to go down to the first Harry Potter movie. So I would say that this one was so magical at the time. It was revolutionary. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's not my favorite of the movies, but I'm actually going to put it up here and exceeds expectations because, it was just, oh my gosh, the music, the atmosphere, all the lights, and the candles, the torches, all that stuff in like the Great Hall, just the atmosphere. It's so like homey. It made me want to go to Hogwarts. It was perfect. I loved it. At the time, of course. Now I was young, obviously. The second one is, of course, where is it? These are not in order. Chamber of Secrets. Like I said, the movie actually got me way more interested in the book. So technically this would exceed expectations because it was way better than I anticipated, but I'm still going to put it in acceptable because it's not one of my favorite movies. It's just kind of there. But it still had that same atmosphere from the first one, probably because the first two had the same director. What was it, Christopher Columbus or whatever. So, these two I felt like were very similar in tone. Then the third one starts to get darker. I liked the third one. I thought that there were some weird kind of changes to it. Like, I don't know. I felt like, Sirius was great. I thought Sirius was exactly kind of what I expected. But that scene at the end where they're all in the Whomping Willow or they go to the Shrieking Shack, I just didn't think it was quite the same as it was in the books. So I'm actually going to put that in acceptable as well because, I put the book in outstanding, but the movie, I don't know. I guess I'll put it here. It was almost as good as the book, but not quite. The fourth movie, I didn't really like a lot. I don't even remember much about it, honestly. It's just sort of there. So look at that hair. Look at that Daniel Radcliffe hair. I'm going to put it there for now. We might come back and change it. I loved the fifth Harry Potter movie. Loved it. Thought it was great. I don't know that I can give any of these outstanding, but if I did, it would be this one. Can I give them outstanding? Because they're not really on par with, these two books are still just so epic. But the fifth one is what really, there was a new director. Of course, they kept him the whole rest of the time after this. And it's just what really got me sort of back into the series for sure. It made me love the fifth book, even though I'd hated it before. I love the music. The music of this one was so good. I bought the soundtrack. like the little Weasley wizard wheezes. They're like there's fun little song. The little Umbridge song is even really catchy. Of course, I hate Umbridge with a burning passion, but this movie was super, super good. I would say it definitely exceeded expectations. You know what? I'm going to put this back down here. That's going to go there. Because Prisoner of Azkaban did not actually exceed my expectations. It was just really good. So, there we go. And these two actually stand out above everything else, which makes sense that they're in the outstanding. Okay, I like these categories after all, except for these bottom ones. I don't know about Troll, but okay. Then, is this one next? I can't even read these. No, Half-Blood Prince. Here we go. Half-Blood Prince, the movie, really good. I liked it a lot. There was nothing wrong with it. I don't know that it exceeded expectations. It was acceptable, I guess. Yeah, it was acceptable. Yeah, there we go. Because it's definitely better than Goblet of Fire. Oh, Goblet of Fire is the one where it has the crazy Dumbledore moment where he's like, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? And you're like, who are you? Are you Dumbledore? You're not Dumbledore. And he would never act like that. That was wild. Yeah, so no, that's going to stay there. And maybe those stay there. I don't know. Okay, we'll come back in a minute and see. Deathly Hallows Part 1. That's this one because they're running around in the woods. Guess what? Didn't like that either. Almost didn't like it as much as the book. I don't know. I guess I disliked both parts. I hated the first part of this one because of that. And I hated the first part of most of this movie really was that part I hate, which is them running around in the woods and Ron running off and being angry for no reason. Okay, then Part 2, I mean, it's like the epic conclusion. But honestly, when I'm thinking back about it, I can't think of one scene that stands out from the movie. If you were like, oh, tell me one scene, I don't know. I can't think of one scene from that movie. At the end with Aberforth in the Hog's Head, they're all gathering, and I kind of remember that scene. Honestly, that's about it. So I'm going to put it in poor. I mean, it's not poor. Order of the Phoenix is not poor either. In fact, it made me really like them. Oh gosh, are these really on par with this? Not really. Now it makes me want to move like the books up here because I feel like these movies were not great. There's not enough categories. Oh no. Okay, no, you know what? We're just gonna leave it like that. Okay, let's do the last two, which are the two Fantastic Beasts movies. Okay, so this one, the first one, I did not like. I thought it was, but I thought it had potential. I thought, okay, this world could go somewhere from here. It wasn't great. In fact, I really didn't like it at all. I never had a desire to see it again the second time. I didn't even rewatch it before the second movie came out. So you know what? I'm going to stick it here because I didn't like it. I didn't care about the characters at all. I thought it'd be fascinating to learn about Ilvermorny, the new school. Turns out I didn't care about any of that extra lore that J.K. Rowling made and put on her Pottermore website. I didn't care. As much as I love Harry Potter more than anything, and all I did was Harry Potter stuff when I was younger. I had my own Harry Potter school, if that tells you anything. I was 14 years old and I had a school on that. It was called xexpages.com or whatever, and you could make a website on there, and I had a Harry Potter school on there, and I had 150 people sign up that I was in charge of, and I had assignments posted. I mean, I was deep in rabbit holes with Harry Potter stuff. I was on discussion boards 24/7 to come up with theories between books. And so as hardcore of a fan as I am, I did not care about all the extra stuff. I guess I just like the true canon, and I think of all this extra stuff as not really part of the actual Harry Potter canon. So Fantastic Beasts winds up as a dreadful, which I'm going to give you one guess. Where do you think I'm going to put the second one? It's going to go in Troll. The only good part about that movie is the fact that if you guys have ever seen Pitch Meeting, go to YouTube and look up Pitch Meeting videos. It's this guy who from Screen Rant that does these really funny videos where he makes fun of movies and what their pitch must have been like. And that's the best pitch meeting I've ever seen is the Crimes of Grindelwald one. And that's the only reason I like this movie is because it's the funniest pitch meeting ever. So go look that up. But yeah, no, it's a terrible movie. It was horrible. I don't know why it even exists. I never want to see it again. Honestly, that movie makes me not want to go see the third one when it comes out. I have no interest. I don't know how they're going to make another one about this and make me even care. The pacing was ridiculous. It was so weird. All of a sudden, it was focusing on whatever her name was, the Lestrange lady. See, I've even forgot her name, Lita Lestrange. And I didn't care about her at all. And all of a sudden it was like, there was something about her and she killed a baby on a boat or something. And I was like, what? Like, this makes no sense. I didn't get it at all. I honestly didn't even care about what was going on with Grindelwald. I feel like he should have been, I don't know, more important somehow because he's like the main villain and his fight with Dumbledore is going to be, epic. Dumbledore really wasn't in it that much for the fact that he's literally on the cover here. I don't know. It's just them hunting around for each other. And, there's that weird, like miscommunication between NEWT and whatever. See, I've even forgot the main girl. I have no idea what the main girl's name is. I couldn't even tell you. But the weird misunderstanding between the two of them, it's like, oh, if he just cleared it up sooner, the whole thing would never have happened. I don't know. It makes no sense. So, you know what? I feel like I feel pretty good about this. Only 2 outstanding, only 2 troll, and then everything else is kind of in the middle and ranked. Once again, they're all good. Well, except for some of these down here at the bottom. But they're all wonderful and amazing. I would not say they're poor or dreadful, but this was really fun. So you can go look this up if you want to use the same tier maker. This is what I called it right here. I'll put this in the description down below too. I guess I can put a link to it. So if you want to go and rank it yourselves and see where you would put everything and see how different ours are. Because I see some people, they're like, oh man, book 5 is like my favorite of the series ever. And like book 3 sucks. And I just don't know how they do that. I don't understand. But it'd be fun to see if yours is any different. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll do another one of these soon because I love doing this. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.